You've read the books. You've watched the videos. You've told yourself, next year, when things are more stable, you'll finally do it. But next year comes, and you still don't feel ready. Here's the part nobody says out loud. You were never going to feel ready. Not next year. Not in 5 years. Not ever. That feeling you're waiting for isn't a signal. It's not information. It's not your gut telling you something true about your skills or your timing. Psychologists call it the readiness illusion, and it shows up almost every time a person stands at the edge of a decision that can't be fully calculated in advance. Think about it for a second. Every piece of advice you've ever gotten about starting a business assumes readiness is a state you arrive at, like a light switching from red to green. Save enough money, learn enough skills, build enough confidence, and then, one day, you'll just know. Except that's not how any of this actually works. Researcher Daniel Kahneman spent decades studying how people make decisions under uncertainty, and one of his clearest findings was this: humans are terrible at predicting how they'll feel in situations they haven't experienced yet. You can't accurately imagine what running a business will feel like because your brain has no reference point for it. So it does the only thing it knows how to do. It stalls. It asks for more information. It waits for a feeling that was never going to arrive, because that feeling requires experience you can only get by doing the thing you're avoiding. This is the trap. Readiness isn't a precondition for action. It's a byproduct of it. You don't feel confident and then start. You start badly, uncertainly, and the confidence builds in the gaps between the mistakes. Every founder who looks calm and prepared today spent their first year improvising, guessing, and quietly panicking behind a laptop screen. Nobody shows you that part. There's a reason this myth is so comfortable, though. Waiting feels like progress. It feels responsible. It feels like the smart, careful thing to do. But notice what it actually protects you from. Not failure. Judgment. As long as you haven't started, you haven't been tested. Your business idea still lives in your head, where it's flawless, where the numbers work perfectly, where nobody can tell you it's not good enough. The moment you start, that protection disappears. And that, more than any spreadsheet or market analysis, is what your brain is actually stalling to avoid. This is where a well-known finding in behavioral economics becomes uncomfortably relevant. Researchers Amos, Tversky, and Kahneman described a pattern called loss aversion. The idea that the pain of losing something feels roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something equivalent. Applied here, it means the potential embarrassment of trying and failing looms far larger in your mind than the potential reward of trying and succeeding, even when the math clearly favors trying. So your brain does what brains do. It protects you from a loss that hasn't happened yet, at the cost of a life you haven't lived yet. Here's the part that reframes everything. The people who actually build something rarely feel more ready than you do right now. They just stopped treating readiness as a requirement. They redefined it. Instead of waiting to feel capable, they let the first real customer, the first real problem, the first real dollar earned become the proof they were looking for all along. Confidence, it turns out, isn't something you accumulate quietly before you begin. It's something you're issued in small amounts after each uncomfortable step, whether or not you felt prepared to take it. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, "I'll start when I'm ready," ask yourself a different question instead. What would I do this week if I already knew I'd never feel ready and decided to move anyway? Because that's the real starting line. Not confidence, not certainty. Just the decision to act before the feeling arrives, knowing it never was going to arrive first. You didn't fail to become ready. Readiness was never the thing standing between you and starting. It was just the most convincing excuse your brain could find.